Perfect. Perfect.
Yeah, I'm just one is I've been in the lab today. Let's just leave it at that.
Oh.
I'm excited that Saber's back.
Oh, can't wait. Can't wait to see that. All right, let's do this. What's going on? It's Toolbox here, just your average blue collar tamer, and we're having back at it with another episode of the DigiDads. And of course, I have my co-host JJ, the man with no logo or nickname yet.
Now, I was gonna give myself a purple theme nickname, but that got shut out the window. We'll get more into that later.
Oh, all right. So for this episode, we're gonna talk about the new hit list because our last podcast we just talked about our guesses, and now in recording of this, it's out. So we're gonna go over the stuff we talked about and see how right we were. And then next we're gonna do this new little thing that how do I word this? It's going to be our new little segments in these
Segment?
podcasts,
Yes.
and we'll get to that when we get to that. So stay tuned for that. And then last, we're going to talk about our favorite card of the week, and this can be either by art or effect. It's your choosing. Or we're gonna maybe highlight and give some spotlight to some cards that probably never really get talked about. So, without further ado, let's get into this ban list. So, the big thing is they really attacked Gabumon, to say the least. I
A
would
little bit.
honestly argue that they pretty much just went after purple. There's a couple other cards here and there, but um, for the most part, starter deck 6 Gabumon, that when attacking, draw one, trash one. Um, I feel like the game has been coming to a state where, for purple at least, putting cards in your trash is become pretty easy to do, and also it's like a second hand because you can take things out of the trash most of the time. So it's like I could see why they went with this. What are your thoughts on this specific Gabumon?
Which makes me so much pain that I have to talk about like we have to differentiate between the Gabumon, but like I think hitting that Gabumon made a lot of sense because it wasn't a once per turn limit. Like the new starter deck Gabumon that came out that does the same thing. Like you just get to cycle as many times as Guru would let you attack. So like makes a lot of sense to hit that Gabumon to not let it do its thing like 4 times in one turn.
Yeah, that's what that was like. Because when I was first looking at it, I'm like, isn't that what the new one does? But then I was like, oh yeah, the new one's got that once per turn, which that's a really big part in that key phrasing.
Yeah, it's pretty huge. Like the the new Gabumon, pretty balanced, pretty fair. Wasn't super upset that they hit that when attacking Gabumon, but the next Gabumon makes me very sad.
Oh, let's get into that because the next Gabumon, the BT2 Gabumon, BT2069. How? Uh,
Nice.
nice. It got that. It's the same thing pretty much, but for an on deletion. But it's draw
I
two.
I just I just don't know why they hit that boy. He's fine. He's just a good little Gabumon, just hanging out. This nice little purple engine makes all other purple decks like nice and easy. But nope, he gone.
I think the big part of that for the on deletion side of it, like I feel like there's too many purple goblin ones. Clearly, that kind of do the same thing. So it just makes it to where you could have possibly all 12 if you wanted to run all three of the Goblimons and at 4 you could have 12 Goblimons that have the same borderline inheritable.
So that's my problem, Ty. Like you hit one Gabumon, you could run 9 Gabumons total, like 9 purple Gabumons, like
Mm-hmm.
4 and whatever one's restricted. But they restricted 2. So like now, if you really want to run a purple base Melga, you have 6 viable Gabumons. And like, do you run six rookies and are okay with it? Or like it's a very weird situation now for like purple Melga. But like the fact that they hit like the on deletion purple Gabu just makes me sad because it's such a purple staple, in my opinion.
So do you think like it was one of those ones that like you feel like they really shouldn't have hit that one? Like, do you kind of understand the reasoning to why, or like you can see why they did it, or
I just feel like a lot of purple caught a lot of stray bullets for a lot of the meta things that people were worried about, like Apocalypse and Melga. Like, I get the starter deck makes a lot of sense because that's like most used in or most efficiently and brokenly used in the like Metal Garurumon purple deck. But like the on deletion Gabu and the other purple card that got hit are like the staple purple cards and really hurts the Keller as a whole.
yeah, it really did feel like purple was in their sights for this. like I was like, dang, they just keep another one. It just kept rolling in.
DJ Khaled, another
An-
one.
I guess with that statement, we'll talk about the next purple restricted card, Eismon Scatter Mode. You last podcast were just nonstop trying to bring the other Eismon back. Little did you know that they were hitting the other one.
So rude.
Ow!
Just so rude. I mean, Scatter's such a good card, and it like makes me so sad because now like with Scatter at one of, there's no reason to run the one of Eismon. It's, I mean, just sad for me as a purple player. Like just like looking at my Belf deck, I was like, well, this is gonna need to be changed, but probably not gonna be playing it now in the future because I will say like the purple hits like didn't hit Anubis Merva or like the Fenrir Lugamon too much, which like those are pretty much like the top decks in purple, but like Scatter Mode's been around like what BT6, like the card's been around forever. It's just
BT7.
BT7. I'm sorry. My
Fun fact,
apologies.
it's also BT7069. Howl.
Oh, I mean, love love for purple right there, but like that's such a good card. It just makes me
So like
sad to see it go.
the reasoning of why is they're saying because it's a level 4 and you're drawing 3 cards and trashing 2 with the on deletion. So like I feel like for future cards that would do that effect, do you think they would have to make it like a level 5 for it to
Oh,
be like more relatively fair, or increase the um Digievolution if they keep it as a level 4?
honestly, they already have it in the level fives with the like OG Lady Devimon is draw draw two, trash two,
Mm-hmm.
and on Digivolve, and then the Blue Marimon with Retaliation Inherit is draw two, trash two on Digivolve. So like you're drawing one for Digivolving, and then you're drawing two, trashing two. So like essentially those are the same, and like I don't know if anybody like gave Corporate Bandai the message like Scatter Mode has jamming, just never dies when any purple player wants it to, so it's fine. It's
Yeah, that's
balanced.
definitely become a pretty big meme with that card.
I've been burned so many times. There's so many starting hands like with Mulligan now that I would take and I'd be like, all I need is I was like, I'll go Gabu and I'll go Scatter Mode. And like I'll be playing against Blue Flare. And I'll swing, hit a Tamer, they'll stun it for 3 turns. I was like, really all I needed was that Scatter Mode to die and I'd be fine. My hand would have been fixed and jamming.
Yeah, it do be having jamming for some odd reason.
Yeah, for a 4K Digimon, you'd think it would die more, but no.
No, no.
It
But
wants
my
to live.
yeah, he just wants to. He will not go in the trash, even though that's where we want him.
It's where you belong.
That's where he belongs, in the trash, for sure.
Too good for your home? You find your home. It's the
Get in
trash.
your home. That's your home. The Eismon thing, that one, not that like. I feel like it was already like. I get why, I guess, for the reasoning, but also like they're gonna have to, if they want the other Eismon to be any bit usable, they're gonna have to print more Eismon scatter modes just with different effect. But I don't know if they'd ever really do that now. They
I don't think
might.
they care about the Eismon, other Eismon being usable. Like, it's not somebody at Bandai was like harmed by like I don't know in their in like previous life or in their love life, like a woman who wore like purple lipstick. Like they just love hating on the color. Like, oh, you had a Beals format, so you're never gonna get to be relevant again.
I think purple actually might now have the crown for most restricted cards. Because I'm pretty sure it was green for a really long time, but now I think it's purple.
Yeah, sounds about right. It's
I
definitely
don't,
not blue. Definitely not blue.
hey, blue got some hate with the EX4 Mirage or the Mac Galgamon, my bad. Um that one I see, like I knew that deck was like, people were like talking about it and how it was topping a lot of like Ultimate Cup, but I didn't really see it do crazy performance in like normal meta. But I don't know if it just it gets way better in the upcoming sets.
I don't think there's any new cards for it. It's just like the blue typical like bouncing. It's just a strong mechanic in this game,
Yeah,
especially against purple.
yeah, because that prevents that on deletion effect to even go off. So
Yeah.
yeah,
She's
it's
like,
big.
here, let me go back to your hand. And then also I gain memory for all the cards in your hand. So
Yeah, that one it kind of not confused, not like caught me off guard, but I guess I was just like I wasn't expecting that card to be hit at all. But like, I feel like anytime there's cards that let you unsuspend, um, it kind of, and if the deck is already like ridiculously consistent, like, or I don't even know if this deck's really ridiculously consistent, but consistent, and can attack and very aggressive. I feel like the unsuspending thing um, usually then becomes a problem. But I don't know. This one kind of, I don't know. For me, it was like I didn't really get why. But
yeah,
I
I mean,
also have only played against that deck once, so I never really got to like. It wasn't like I was playing against it every week consistently, so I never really got a hate for it.
yeah. I just there's like a lot of talk about it being good, but like you said, it didn't appear too much around us. And so we didn't have to deal with it much, but like I understand why it's like going away and Bandai's like reasoning on there made like a significant amount of sense because like Mirage as a deck can climb so fast and just being able to freely bounce to level 4 and unsuspend is it's a pretty terrifying package all in one.
Yeah, agreed.
Because like, hey, bounce my Eismon back. Oh hey, I have now have 8 cards in my hand. You're gonna go in like Mirage for like 2? Oh, okay. Just do a couple checks with jamming. Okay. I'm in
Yeah,
danger.
I'm in danger.
But I
Oh,
mean, apparently Bandai said my favorite thing is Bandai like putting mock on the list and then unsuspending like my my favorite part of this band list.
yeah, I know that I thought that was ironic a little bit because they're relatively the same card in their own right for like what their deck's trying to do. But before we get into that, let's talk about the last restricted card. And that's BT13 Geo Greymon. So this one I totally get because I remember when we were predicting it, I was guessing like I'm like, oh, maybe it could be the Marcus from BT12, but this card is ridiculous in BT14 when you play into that yellow vaccine deck. I just started this week. I was like, you know what? I'm going to start watching gameplay from those sets and future sets just so I can get an idea, more or less, trying to gain my knowledge a little bit. And like, that deck is crazy. Like, I'm like, that deck's
Hmm.
wild. And this, if the card had specifically playing just a Marcus, I don't think it would have been. It would have been like perfectly fine at 4 and they would have no issue. But the fact that it is so generic with red or yellow Tamer, that really does, like, that whole yellow vaccine deck, pretty much your starting hand is 10 cards because you have your hand and you got your whole security. That card, like that deck specifically, like yellow's always been like utilizing their security, but like that deck really, like, it is a second hand for you pretty much.
And with that deck too, like unlike like Shine, like with the vaccine deck, you get to look at your security pretty much with the Patamon, and then you get to know if it's a good idea to go into Geo Greymon,
Yeah, it
which
it
is
takes out the risk of just bringing it out of raising and digivolving into it in the hopes you're like, all right, let's hope we can get a Tamer in here, because sometimes I've seen it miss, and
hmm
it is what it is. But that card makes it to where you're never gonna miss unless you just aren't paying attention.
yeah, it's just vicious in that vaccine deck. And
Yeah,
I mean I think it slows down Shine enough to make it reasonable. I still think Shine doesn't have enough draw power and consistency to make it like a terror, in my opinion.
yeah. I
So
mean, it has the searches and it has all that stuff, but like, you know, even Greymon decks brick, and they have, I feel like, the most amount of searchable, like, you can almost have all of your level 3s in like a Greymon deck be a searcher if you really wanted. So it's like that deck's consistent, like it should be on paper consistent, but I mean, you play Wargrey and I play Agubond, and I still brick in a weird way, or like sometimes I just miss.
yeah, it's just like you don't even get like it's just like you don't get the stacks, right? Like you still have a stack, but it's like not a stack you want.
Yeah, it's always like the wrong I swear every time I have an Agumon X antibody in hand, and I'm like, I got no other level 3, I'll Digivolve and Raising, and then I draw a level 3, and I get really annoyed.
Yeah. Yeah, it'll do that.
It'd be like that sometimes for sure.
It do. And it is so frustrating.
Makes you want to just rip your hair out.
Joke's on you. My hair's not long enough to rip out.
Why is that? Because of your dad?
No. My
He's going
fun
bald.
fact. No, fun fact for all the listeners. My hair grows like a freaking chia pet. Like it just shoots straight out, so I can't let it go long, or I'll just look ridiculous.
Ah, see, I'm trying the mullet game right now, so I don't know how well that's gonna work out. But I'm blue collared, so that's just kind of what I have to do.
Little business in the front, party in the back.
Oh yeah, you have to. You have to. It'd be a
Gotcha.
crime not to be honest.
That's no argument here.
I'm trying to think of, out of all the restricted cards, is there anything else really that is like noteworthy? Like I feel like the starter deck Gabumon made sense for me. Starter deck 6. I feel like the BT2 Gabumon was kind of more of, we were just beating a dead horse at this point. Like you already hit one of the Gabumons, you're really gonna take out another. Because I feel like an Undulation inheritable, like it. I don't feel like that was totally an unfair card because it had to die for you to really utilize its effect. So it's not
Yeah,
like it's staying on board and still giving you value every turn.
yeah, and it too, it being an on deletion inheritable, like it just doesn't synergize with what Melga really wants to do. Melga wants to like take one stack and swing it
Mm-hmm.
17 times. But every other purple strat was like, yeah, let my Digimon die. This will be fine. Like that was the weird part to me.
Yeah, just felt out of place a little bit. But I guess maybe that was their way of countering other purple decks, not specifically purple Melga. You know what I mean? They're like, we have to figure out a way to kind of tone down the trashing. What's his hit the staple?
Yeah, which feels rude to all other purple decks, but
Yeah, I mean that'd be like saying, "Hey, Reds does too many security checks. Let's get rid of starter deck Greymon." Like,
the card they've reprinted 7 times.
yeah, I don't think they ever will. Even if that card did become a problem, they're not going to. I feel like that's, but I could be wrong. They did hit a Geo Greymon, Greymon in name. You know what I'm saying?
There's one less Greymon
Yeah,
in the game.
one less.
There's
Oh,
only 17 other more for them to have.
yeah, only seven. Yeah, we it's hard. It's hard for us. We don't have a lot of options to choose from.
I just can't. I can't when you say things like that.
Yeah. But another cool part, I guess, about this restriction list is is this the first time something's been lifted from being restricted? I feel like it is.
Yeah, yeah, nothing's ever been added since then.
So yeah, I feel like that's a pretty cool sign because it adds hope, for you purple guys. All you guys have been really wrung into the dirt. There's a possibility. And well, I guess we can talk about the first one, which I know this may have brightened your mood out of all the you were getting kicked, but now you got Savior Huckmon back.
Let's go, buddy. Like I can't understate my excitement for Savior being back. Like Jessmon is not the most consistent deck, but now it's gonna be a problem because there's not I don't know how many people remember BT6, but like Jessmon was a terror in BT6. It was like Security Greymon, Savior Huckmon, Memory Setter Tie, swing, unsuspend, swing, Blitz Omni for game. Like, hey, you're dead.
Now the real
And
question is, do you think that BT6 Jessmon will come back and be big again? Because I feel like that card kind of, in other Jessmon decks, like more recent ones, they don't really play that one.
I don't think it's gonna come back only for the fact that this the starter deck Jessmon, it costs one more memory to Digivolve, but it gives security attack +1 when you play a Digimon by effect
Mm-hmm.
when attacking, and I mean it lets you play a Digimon by effect when attacking or a Sistermon. So like that Jessmon, as long as you're memory efficient enough, kind of is better than the other Jessmon. And then the Jessmon X antibody gives piercing and lets you attack unsuspended for the same memory cost.
Yeah.
So like my initial list, I have a one of for the BT6 Jessmon, but starter deck Jessmon and Jessmon X antibody are just a pretty vicious combo, especially because you can go. Like, let's say you have 3 memory and you have the Savior Huck in Raising. Like, you come out, you go starter deck Jessmon for 4, draw for Digivolution. Technically, your opponent's at 1. So you swing that Jessmon's effect. You play CL that lets you Digivolve on play. CL lets you Digivolve into Jessmon X Antibody for 0, but she gains you a memory, so you keep turn. Then you get to play another Sistermon because of the Jessmon X antibodies effect. So then you're still swinging 2 checks at like a ridiculous amount of DP. Then you get to unsuspend, swing 2 more checks, and that's assuming you didn't have like a Greymon or a tie inherit or a tie on the field to give you another check. Then you have 2 level 4 Sistermon. You can just like Chimeramon for the last check and then Blitz Omni for game. Like
Yeah.
Jessmon's silly. Love it.
And also having trying to think what that starter deck one doesn't have blitz as well.
Well, yeah, it has Blitz on Digivolve
So that's
to like offset the 4 costs, but like the big thing you want to do is keep your turn with Savior.
yeah. Yeah, that's going to be interesting for sure. I'm excited to see that, because I liked how we were talking about it. Like, oh, maybe if they make it to where they bring something to at least two, like we would think Savior Huckmon would be on the list. It's kind of cool that we kind of got that right. Hats off to us. Um, I mean, not technically that I didn't think they'd bring it back up to four, but here we are. And now the next thing is how expensive do you think the whatever the alternate event pack? I don't know if that was an event pack. The Savior Huckmon,
Oh, it was.
because like it was an event pack, right?
Oh yeah.
How much more do you think that's gonna shoot up now? Because now people know they're gonna need three more, so sellers are gonna be shooting that bad boy up.
So right now it's sitting at like $32 on TCG,
32.
and its market value is like 17.
Oh, yeah, that's a good time. Oh
And
man.
everything is like a one or two of listing until he gets like $50.
Oh,
So
a
I'm
buyout
happy
is
I
gonna be coming out.
I'm happy I have one of them, but I don't think I will be forking over the cheddar to get four of them.
Oh, you won't be buying three more of them.
I think I'd rather have $100 in my pocket than three pretty Savior Huckmons.
Boo. I'm just kidding. I'm the same
I
way.
know. I know.
I
I'm
remember
lame.
when the Koromon, the alternate art one that you got from like participating in that tournament. I can't remember exactly which one.
OG Ultimate Cup, I think, right?
I don't know. It was before Ultimate Cups were even a thing. I think it was during BT4 when that came out because they you got the card before the set even came out.
Was that the Evolution Cup or something? Either way.
Either way, at one point I'm sitting there going, should I pull the trigger and buy three more of them? Because I actually went to that online event, so I got one of them, and I was like, do I wanna? And I was like, there's $60. I get this will always be used. I feel like so. I'm like, maybe I should. I go, nah. Now they're like 100 and something. And I'm like, I'm never buying three more of those. Just
Dude, can you imagine the guy who was like sitting on like he was like mad when he like opened his event pack three. Like he bought like a couple, pulled like three Savior Hucks. He's like, oh, this sucks. Wakes up today. Sweet.
today,
100 bucks.
today was a good day for him, for sure.
A great day.
And then we got one more card that got lifted from one to three, which we both were like, nah, this
Four.
card's staying because with all the new ace cards coming out, I feel like this effect's gonna be overpowered. But it's the Tommy from BT7. Blue Hybrid. When they hit this, Blue Hybrid was like everywhere. I actually do remember dealing with that one a good bit. Um, you know, so their reasoning this is one part of their reasoning I was a little confused about, and I kind of hope you have the answer to that. So it's saying that like at the time there wasn't any prevention or protection from getting your sources stripped, and they're saying now in the game there is, to counter the preventing of attacking and blocking. What cards do that? Would that be X antibody? That's the only one I can think of that you could put underneath and it doesn't go away.
Yeah, that is the only card that counters Digivolution card removal. Like that's it.
So that
Like
that really that's it. So I,
yeah,
f- I feel
that's
like
the only. Yeah,
I feel like people are gonna start throwing in X antibody in as a tech card just in case they have to deal with this guy now.
just so you don't get like Tommied and Hexablad.
Yeah.
Well, that's like there is nothing worse than like playing red and even like BT6, BT7, Jesmon, and you would swing in and you'd have your red tie active because you had enough sources underneath your Digimon. And because the game constantly checks if you can do extra security checks, and you're like your first check's Tommy with your Jesmon, you're like, I'm swinging Sec plus two because I have a Greymon and a tie, and I'm like, no, you're not. You let me just strip the bottom three sources here. You're swinging Sec plus one, and it's over. Sorry about your luck.
Sorry about that, Bucko. Like I don't know. I feel like now, like I knew with the other one, we're gonna see a lot more Jesmon, but like you said before, like Jesmon was never like, or now at least, like it's some, it's somewhat of an inconsistent deck at times. So like that kind of made it, it could do a lot, but like it's not always gonna have what it needs. But I remember Blue Hybrid being like ridiculously consistent, and they were able to just do whatever. And I feel like this card also with Blue Flare, I feel like people might throw this in a Blue Flare. Um, I don't know. I feel like now Blue Hybrid's gonna come back and be right back to where it was, but I don't know.
There's some stuff that like Machine Dramon and Analog Man, you can be stunned, but you can still redirect blocks. And like Black Wargrave X, you can redirect attacks. So like there are more cards now that can like not that can avoid like that can be defensive
Mm-hmm.
even with their stunned by Blue Hybrid. But to me, like the Blue Hybrid, Blue Flare stunning mechanic is just like I can't explain why. It's totally irrational, but it's like the most infuriating mechanic in the game. I'm like, my Digimon's still here. He's fine. You didn't do it. Like, you didn't delete him. You didn't reduce his DP, but he's just there stunned. It was like, you just like bonked him in the head and said, you can't move. It's like, I don't know why it makes me so much more mad than any other form
Like I'd
of like
rather it be
control.
deleted. I'd rather it not be here.
Yeah, I can't explain. It's totally irrational, but it makes me so upset. I'm like, what do you mean? He's right here. He's fine. No, he's stunned. I put a sheet. I put a bucket over his head like in Skyrim, and he can't see me now. So
And I guess I've never really played high hunters, but like that one card, it does its attack, but it doesn't suspend it. Would does that get around that as well? Or is that technically like even if it got stunned per se? I don't know, in a
uh,
situation to where that's on field and it can get stunned like that, but would that technically stun it as well? Or would its
I'll,
attack still work?
I'll tell you, put me on the spot. We didn't even talk about this.
I'm just testing your knowledge because you play the complicated decks, and I play the
it's
very simple-minded ones. So I need your help.
it's still it like depending on the stun, but like Tommy specifically says. One of your opponent's Digimon with no Digivolution cards can't attack or block. So it would stop the Superior mode from attacking because Superior just is attacking
Just attacking
without
but doesn't suspend.
suspending.
Okay, interesting. I don't know if that situation would ever actually come up, but I was just thinking of cards that attack in weird ways or can block in weird ways because we were talking about um the Black War Greymon X like he
Blocking,
redirects in
redirect.
machine. They
Yeah.
redirect, so it's like they're still blocking per se, but they're not technically. And I was just like, oh, that one attacks, but it doesn't suspend. Is it technically attacking?
Yeah, it's still it reads as this Digimon may attack without suspending. So
Oh, imagine if you stunned a Quartzmon. How annoying that shit would be. I'm just thinking about it. Like, you stun a Quartzmon, it can't attack, it can't, and then nothing else on suspense, so it's just there. That'd be the most frustrating, in my opinion. I feel like
that'd
that
be
would just make me want to say, you know what, I'm rolling up the mat and I'm leaving, putting everything in my toolbox and getting out of here.
I wouldn't lie, that would be great. Oh, you stunned me? I don't care. Good luck on suspending. But
Nothing.
then hybrids will just be like, let me just play three more tamers and I'll kill you next turn. It's
True.
like, oh,
It'll get
crap.
around it, but I could just see that situation happening. You're just like, oh, what do I do?
What a weird board state that would be.
That was just. That's like
Well,
I
and
saw
there's
on
you
Facebook one
first.
time. Uh, this guy took a picture of the board state. He had two Quartzmon on his side of the field, and the other guy had one Quartzmon. So I was like, "How? What do you do?" What
Go to time. That's what you do. Well, you
yeah,
come out of raising and you hope that you can do something effective.
But that's it. That's all you can do.
Well,
Wow.
that's what's it like? There's that whole like side strategy with quartz is you tuck it with a couple of like the hunter level fours to let you tuck a source, and then you armor purge. It's like armor texture,
Hmm.
and you just don't activate the Digivolution effect. So you like hard drop the level four, tuck quartz underneath, and then activate the first effect of armor texture, and then you rip off your top source, and you just have a quartz mon for like three memory.
Ew. Ew. That is filthy. I don't like that.
Okay, shout out to Travis.
That
He's the one who reminded me about that, and it's one of the first people I see do that. I was like, but you don't get the when digivolving effect. It's like, yeah, but nothing on suspends and it only costs three memory. And I was like, ah, that's a fair point.
he's got a point. The man's got a point.
Fair point.
That's amazing. Oh man, can't wait to see that one day because I know I'm gonna definitely deal with that now. Now it's been put into the atmosphere for me. It's been put into the world, and now I know of the possibilities it's gonna happen.
Round one.
Yeah, yeah, no, just not excited about that. Now,
If you'd like your
now
bloom
I'm
to
nervous.
unsuspend,
Now
no.
I'm nervous. Oh man. So this honestly was a really interesting, you know, ban list for me. Like I was just like I guess there was just stuff I thought was definitely gonna get hit, and I wasn't expecting some of them. So that's where like the Geo Greymon was like honestly after I started watching gameplay of the yellow vaccine deck, I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. I'm like, get rid of it, put it to one, boom. And
I think
like
Shane commented on that too in the on the video. Like shout out to him.
yeah,
I think he called it a little Nostradamus effect over there himself.
good for that guy. Absolute unit. Or the mock Gagumon, I see it, I get it, but like it's one of those I never experienced the issues with it, so I'm like, oh, that's weird, but like, hey, whatever. But like you were saying before, like it's really ironic that they put a card to one because of its inheritable being able to unsuspend, and then they undo the restriction of Savior that does the same thing for
The
that deck's
most
own right.
and the most OTK deck that there is. Like I feel like if you polled Digimon players and you just had to be like, what's the most like glass cannon OTK deck ever in the TCG? I feel like all of them have to say Jessamine.
Yeah, no, it was because I remember that was the set where I said, you know what, I'm gonna play top meta deck and I'm gonna just try to like do really well and be a good player. That was where that started. And then I played that deck and I just didn't like how it played. Even when I won, I was just like, I don't like this. Like it just didn't like I have a Jessamine deck now and I think it's fun to play. Like it's it's not like just make this and hope you win or like make this go out there and do your thing and then you're either winning that turn or if it dies or something happens to it you just lose the game pretty much. That wasn't something I really liked. And that's where the Agubon dream began. I mean it came out in BT6 but that's where like I genuinely was like I just want to play a deck that I like the core value of it and if it isn't good, oh well, I'm going to try to make it good. So thanks, Jessmon. You opened up my eyes to what I really want to do with this game.
And then it's put you down a dark path ever since.
Oh, it really has. Every week, I bring when I go, I'll bring Agubon. I'll lose with it. Go, okay, I'm gonna make these tweaks, and then I'm like, you know what? I need to just take a break from this. And then the next week comes around, I'm like, but I did make some changes. Let's see if that worked out. like, it's like, it's like a drug. I don't know why. There's something about me really wanting to make that deck win. Like if I want to win my first locals with it, and I don't know if that'll happen now. I think I got a shot in BT14 because there's just a lot of really good support. But like, I guess that's a topic for another day. But
We need a four-person locals for you for that deck tie.
hey, I have a good feeling about BT14. Really good. All the things that the deck had problems with, there's now cards that help it. Because like the Skull Greymon from EX1, it's a great card to throw in there. But like playing a suspended level 3 is just so easy to get rid of and never survive. So it always felt like a waste. You know, you go up there, you swing, it dies at the end of the attack. Which yeah, you did the checks, or even if you didn't, you're playing out a body for free, which you're like great. But then like they just kill it anyway. It always felt like I could do a lot of checks, and then I need like a recharge time. And then that recharge time, every other deck was able to come back from it, establish a board state, and I had nothing to be able to go after it. And that was like the biggest issue I had with it. It was always like I could do a lot of stuff, and then I gotta like wait a turn to do it again. And by that point, they either have beaten me, established board, so I can't win, and then I have no way to counter what they're doing. So I was just like, it's always been that way. I feel like, and
Yeah, yeah.
but adding an Agumon with Rush, or adding it so you can play an Agumon, it's not suspended, which that makes it a little better. But level 3s are kind of easy to get rid of in the game now, but especially a suspended one. But unsuspended one, you have a shot a little bit more. And then also, if you have the tie, giving it Rush makes it so if you're still your turn when you Digivolved into it, you can still, you know, do the things you need to do. And then also with the War Greymon Secret Rare, yeah,
Warp.
like that's just going to make it so is if they have a big body on board, you're able to get into your level 6 by Warp Digivolving off of a level 3, and then that in turn will let you also possibly go into Bond without taking out your own security. So it just adds a lot more to it. So I don't know. I'm really excited for that. So I feel
You
like that's where the dream's gonna come alive.
you running analogs in there?
I've tried. I've tried it. It works really good with like the Skull Greymons, but when I took out the Skull Greymons, it always felt like I run the Metal Greymon and the Metal Greymon X antibody, so I'm able to boost his DP really high, and so it can most of the time survive security, and then it does all those checks, and then like it never came up to where the level 5 would die on my turn, and then I'd be able
Mm.
to do the things that make Analog Youth good.
Just the fact that like hatching and like being able to like skip your recharge phase basically and just keep pressure on.
Yeah,
Just feels
that's
so
where
good with
like
analog and Skull Gray.
yeah, if you did it with the Skull Gray, it worked. Like it was consistently that would happen. But then when I was trying out the Metal Greymon from BT12 that lets me use the raid and change and play out a Tamer for free, and then that allowed me to also you pair that in with the X antibody. You're able to go into then the Metal Greymon X antibody, technically using the raid function, attacking unsuspended Digimon with piercing, and it boosts up really high. That it was always like I play that combo felt way more like that's gonna help me out in the long run, way more than just having Analog Youth and the Skull Greymon. But again, I'm still dealing with the same issues, so I don't know if maybe I should try that because I tried the Analog Youth with the Metal Greymon side of it, and it never the level 5 never died on my turn. So it always died on their turn. And yeah, I'd gain a memory and hatch, but then like, I was gonna do the hatching side of it anyway.
Mhm.
Hmm. It it's something to work it's something to you know, when before the Greymon X antibody was hit to down to 1, I was running that Greymon X antibody with Rise Greymon X antibody, because then I'd be
Well,
able to digivolve into it for 2, and
well,
then also play a Tamer out. And then if I had X antibody in its sources, I would be able to delete
save it.
and like reduce DP.
That
So,
that that Greymon X antibody is broken. Like,
oh yeah, I'm glad that got. I think it would have just made the game. It would have been a. I mean, it's already a Greymon game, but it would have been even more. So, you know, yeah, it's kind of funny. I'm now thinking about it. Everyone always complained about how Garurumon side wasn't getting enough support and all this stuff. They keep just making Greymon cards, and then they start announcing that there's gonna be uh, Metal Garurumon stuff, and everyone's getting all hyped. There's gonna be a new Garurumon X antibody, Gabumon X antibody, and then they just straight up said, you know what, we're gonna get rid of a lot of the Gabumons.
yeah, you don't need those regular Gabumons. You'll be
Boo.
fine with the X antibody versions.
Yeah, they're like, we're giving you the support you want. Like we're doing what you ask, but we're also taking away things.
Yeah, you don't need that stuff anymore, right? Like we can put that out to pasture. Like
Yeah,
that's cool. Don't mind us over here.
yeah. Oh man, you got anything else with I know we went on an Audubon rant there for a second, but like, you got anything about this restriction list that you're like, oh yeah, like anything else to add?
Um, I, I think Tommy's a bigger problem than people expect. Like Tommy haunts my nightmare sometimes, but I've talked about how much that mechanic makes me like just mad for not no reason. I think Jesmon has a chance to be good. Like like I said, Jesmon I thought was the best OTK deck in the past, and now that you bring Savior back, a lot of people wouldn't run Savior because you couldn't base Jesmon around it, but like now there's options in Jesmon because you can run the new Saviors, the old Saviors, and like I think someone's gonna come up with a very good Jesmon list, and it's gonna be a big problem.
So is
And
that person going to be you?
no, because I have a child and coming into this world soon, so I would love it to be me. But I will make a Jesmon deck that's gonna be a problem for you guys, the locals.
That's
But
fair.
I don't think I'm making any waves out there in California. But
You don't know. You never know.
Jesmon, that's true.
Do you think? All right, my prediction with this is Tommy is going to be the first card to be put back on. That's just, I'm just gonna go out there and be like, you know what? I think this will be funny if this guy gets restricted, gets unlifted, and they go, oh, never mind, bring it back, because think we're gonna be going into sets that Japan already went through, and there's gonna be these cards now. Like these two cards are going back into the pool where in Japan they didn't have that. They were still restricted. So I feel like our meta it's gonna be a little different, which is kind of cool to see.
Yeah, Tommy's gonna be a big problem, I think. I mean, some people think it's like our Discord was going off about like, hey, Tommy will still be too slow, but like Tommy's just really good. And one guy in our locals is excited about putting in Alt Force and an Alt Force with like Tommy and some hybrid packages just to slow your opponent down and so you can recover is honestly terrifying.
Oh, oh, I can't wait. Can't wait to see it.
Oh, I could wait. I could wait.
Well, I feel like that's all really. That's all we really need to talk about for the restriction list. I can't really think of anything else to like. It's not going to be
Uh,
just repeating the same thing again. But
yeah, just rip purple.
yeah,
Thanks.
yeah. R.I.P. Purple. Ironically, because they're like the undead stuff. Zombies are in purple.
Yeah, and that they're dead.
Yep,
They're
just
like
like your
headshot,
color. Oh,
headshot dead.
double
I will
tap.
say the one thing I will say though, out of all of this meta, if like I bought more than I should have, but it's like worked out so far, is War Greymon, and specifically like Raid War Greymon, did not get hit at all. And I think that deck was already like pound for pound as good as all the other decks. So that's all I'm saying. Like I think War Greymon could be best deck. Like what is it, BDIF or BDOF, best deck of format.
You think so?
Nothing got hit against it, and I mean, I haven't seen anything slow it down yet. Like I've run it sparingly for all of BT 13, and I'm 10-0 in matches, and I think I've dropped like 3 games out of those sets. Like it's just a strong deck. Doesn't really have any bad matchups.
Yeah, because I feel like it's a deck that just does this thing. Kind of regardless of who you're playing against, it's gonna mainly just do what it does.
It does what it does. You have tie, so like the black tie, 3 cost to give you defensive options. Raid, if your opponent leaves an unsuspended Digimon out, you can OTK with the raid one, but you also are very, very good defensively with the tie giving you blocker, and then you're also pretty sticky with like your inherent Greymon X protection, whether it's the one of or the other Greymon X,
Yeah,
and it's just all around solid. Like there's not a ton of weaknesses to its game. It can go fast if you want to go fast. It can really play a long game with the blockers. Like
yeah. And we talked a lot about Greymon in one of our other podcasts, so definitely go check that out. Oh,
the editor will post a link to it in the video.
oh yeah, it'll pop up probably in your top right corner. Maybe if you're into that, maybe click that thing. It'd be kind of neat.
I'm just I'm just here to give Ty more work.
Yeah, I need it. I need it. All right. Now I'm going to talk about the next little thing. This is going to be a cool little segment we're going to do. So, if you didn't know, we have a Discord, and it is the TCG Mill because I'm blue collar. Come down to the TCG Mill. But what we're going to do, and this is kind of for the viewers to look at. I have in the segment a deck list little section. So if you have you're working on a deck and maybe you need some help with things or whatever, go down into that, post your deck list, and kind of write a little brief description of the problems you have. And we're gonna kind of do like a little deck doctor little sets, like just little things to help out viewers. So because that's one thing like I really love about this game is deck building, and I'm assuming you're the same way, JJ. You just like making ideas, and I like helping people out for sure. So that's also why I like to do it.
I love talking shop. Like I could talk. Like my wife does not want to talk about Digimon with me all the time, so I am more than happy to
Same,
talk Digimon
same.
shop with anybody who wants to and just like throw around ideas. A lot of people bring up like things I haven't thought about before, which I think anytime somebody opens your eyes to a new idea, especially in like a trading card game, it really makes you better overall as a player. Like somebody our locals brought a Belf Beelzemon combo deck and just like putting everything in the trash and then bringing out a Belf. And it was surprisingly effective and annoyingly consistent at bringing out Belfamon. I was like, I never would have thought of that, but
That's
it's a great
interesting.
combination.
I know a while ago I did videos kind of like this. I asked people on Reddit, and this one guy came up with this deck list where he used the Wizardmon that lets you put a purple option card to the top of your deck, right?
Hmm.
And then they would digivolve into the uh, what's it called? Big dragon, real fluffy. Looks like I'm trying to think what his name is. He had a really important card where back in the beginning of the game where you hard play it for 10, and if you had 3 or less, you could recover 2. What is that
Oh,
thing's name?
Magna Dramon.
Yes. So they use the EX1 of that because it has a when attacking. Like if you have, I think it's like have a certain amount of security, you can recover 1. So they would stack their security by placing purple option cards at the top of their deck and then recovering it. And it was a really cool combo. I was like, that's sweet. Like I was like, and with all the support with I'm going really blank. The purple, yellow, purple starter deck.
Oh,
Mastamon.
Mastamon,
That's it.
Chaos
Mastamon.
Degradation, and all, and
Yeah,
Flame Hell Scythe.
and also just having level fives that can go over yellow or purple, like, and then or either both colors or yellow. Like it helped his little combo idea work, and I was like, that's a really cool idea. Like I was like, that's awesome. So like, I would have never thought of that, but I was like, it looks like a fun, interesting thing.
Oh
So
yeah.
yeah, go in our Discord, post your stuff, and we will include you in podcasts and help you out. And yeah, that's pretty much it. That one's gonna be like that's relying on you guys. We can't help you if you don't ask for help. So go do that. Ow. Next, the last little segment we're gonna do is we're just gonna kind of bring up our weekly, like, this is a card we like, or our favorite card of the week. So I'll start it off because I guess I came up with the idea. So I really like the art style of the BTA Gamamon from the illustration contest. I think that card looks so cool with that like classic Japanese art style. And you know, Gamamon got a lot of new support, and now it's like a viable deck from RB1. So like, I feel like I was like, this is like a good starting point. It's very time relevant. But I really like that card. I thought it looks really pretty.
Oh yeah, on the little tree branch, getting the food package.
Yeah, like it's just a cool card. I was like, there's just a lot, like a lot there to appreciate.
I feel that.
And he's a little Triceratops, which is cool.
See, my kid's reeling dinosaurs right now. Where dinosaurs and monster trucks, big things in our life.
Yeah, man, isn't there a dinosaur monster truck?
There is. Oh, we found it.
I'd hope so.
Don't you worry about that. We got that covered.
Sweet. What about you? What's yours?
So I was gonna go art, but you went art. So I'm gonna go. This is not my favorite card of the week. We just started this segment. This is my favorite card of all time.
Oh, what is it?
It is Demonic Disaster. It's all the way back from BT5. Is a one cost purple option, and I felt like I had to give purple some love after
It's
we got
abuse.
killed in the ban list. I think this card is insanely broken, and I don't know why it doesn't get played more. It's broken in Belf, it's broken in most purple cards, most purple decks. Main effect, one cost, mind you. Just keep that in mind while I'm reading all this stuff. You may delete one of your Digimon to unsuspend one of your purple Digimon. So hey, I just spit out a body for free. Let me delete it for one cost, unsuspend my guy, and swing for game. But the security effect, you may play one level 3 purple Digimon card from your trash without paying its memory cost. Any on-play effects of this Digimon played with this effect don't activate, but still just like a very good security effect. Like, oh, you killed my floodgate. Your first check was Demonic Disaster. I'm going to play out that Psychmon again. Good luck.
Yeah, I really like this card. When I put it into my Bunny Alliance, I used Mother D Reaper as the egg, and then used the Alliance function, and I was able to unsuspend and then do the whole Alliance thing again, which was cool. And I made some ridiculous DPs with that combo. It was weird. It was like a late night. I'm going to try this out, and just made it.
I've won so many games where it's just been like, let me go like Minerva and swing out your security, and oh, thanks to Solmon, something lived. Demonic Disaster. You're dead. Or
Yeah,
like a Lilith loop. It's just, oh, it's so much fun. Or if
yeah.
you need something to die in purple, like the
I,
aforementioned scatter mode, you can just kill it.
yeah, that guy who got limited to one, right? Some didn't he get put down to one?
Nope. I got a whole month. I got 30 days. 30
Yeah.
days before I have to live with that harsh reality.
Well, you better live it up, cause it ain't never
Purple
coming back. It's staying in the trash. where it belongs. I missed that
It
joke last time, so I really had to make sure I get it this time.
it does belong in the trash, but it belongs there with its three other friends.
No. It can possibly have one friend.
No, it can't. Zero friends.
It can have an Eismon.
That friend better be played by the effects of being trashed.
No, it's gonna be you did it at the wrong timing.
Why? Why?
I don't
Why you gotta
know.
kick a man when he's down?
Yeah, I'll just
There's actually really no reason to play the Eismon. Like playing Eismon was great for the fact that like it was a one of and you could like probably hit it
Mhm.
with the scatter like at some point with a purple deck, but like you're not gonna play a one of Eismon to hope that your one of scatter mode's in the trash to play it for free. Like the card's just dead.
You know what? I'll throw you a bone here. They should bring Eismon back to 4 and keep scatter mode at 1.
No, oh my
How's that
gosh.
sound? How do you how's that offer? You like that deal?
That that's a gamble that I would probably take because I like to gamble.
There we go. That's all you need. Well,
Dangerous.
we have hit the hour mark. Feels
Did we
like
do
time
it again?
flies. Time flies when we're having a good time.
Oh my gosh, it's past my bedtime.
Yeah. Yeah, I sadly have to stay up because I'm working midnight shift soon. I have to get my body adjusted. So, yeah, well, hey, thanks for listening to the podcast. I hope you like the new format. I hope that makes you a little more congruent, I guess, and makes it more cohesive. And I hope you guys participate in us helping you out with deck lists. That'd be really fun and really cool. So please do that. Like, subscribe, do all that fun stuff. And I know JJ doesn't have a nickname yet, and this is going to be the running gag, I have a feeling. But comment down below a nickname you'd like to give this dude.
Oh boy, I'm a little scared. Be gentle. I'm going through a tough time with the purple ban list, so just keep that in mind.
Yeah, don't throw him way too much over the edge because Bandai's already done that for him.
These are troubling times in the kingdom.
All right, well, we'll catch you guys all in the next one. Peace.
See ya.